Hello, fellow followers. Welcome back to FanZcene. Greg here, and today I have for you my review of the new documentary Dinner with Leatherface, directed by my good friend Michael Kaleo. Shout out to him. I've had him on channel before. He's a great guy. Once he told me about this documentary a while back, I was super pumped. And I couldn't wait for it, and it comes out from the new Anchor Bay. It's a new Anchor Bay Blu-ray. You believe that? But this is about the life, the man, the myth, the legend of Gunnar Hansen, who played Leatherface in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I love the artwork on this. Try to get it good and clear without a glare and fuzziness. Love the artwork on this with Gunnar Hansen and Leatherface and all the other characters he's played through the years. Then we got the back here. Right, yeah, I know my camera's a little blurry. Sorry, guys. And then, of course, on the side, it's just a disc. But this was a really, really great, fascinating, interesting, just heartfelt documentary that I thoroughly enjoyed. And as far as like the special features on this, it's got audio commentary with writer-director Michael Cleo and editor Josh Wagner, extended interview with filmmaker and historian Michael Felsher. Michael Felsher, the head of Red Shirt Pictures, who does a lot of special features on Blu-rays and boutique Blu-rays and stuff. And, they just did Trick or Treat, Sammy Kerr. They just did that restoration and all the special features and everything, put that out. Synapse distributed it, and also Michael Felsher and them through Red Shirt are going to do Fright Night 2, all the Prom Night sequels and stuff like that. They're going to get that out, and Synapse will distribute them. I mean, Red Shirt Pictures, Michael Felsher is making them, and Synapse is going to distribute them. But anyways, onto this. It has an extended interview with the filmmaker Jeff Burr, who did Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, Leatherface. It also has convention chat with actress Danielle Harris, which is really good because I watched these special features, and that's really good because it was Danielle Harris, filmed him at a convention and asking him questions that most questions they normally don't get at conventions from fans and stuff. Just weird, out of the ordinary questions, and it's just like this really cool, intimate moment between her from Halloween, because Danielle Harris is awesome. I've enjoyed her work ever since Halloween. But to hear Gunnar Hansen's answers and stuff, it was really great. It's just a really fascinating portrait of questions and stuff. And then it's also got the Southern Hospitality trailer and Tales of Gunnar Hansen. This documentary clocks in at about 106 minutes. It's got all kinds of people in it. It's got Bruce Campbell, Gunnar Hansen himself. It's got the hitchhiker from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Matter of fact, it's got Grandpa. Almost all the cast is still alive from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's got Girls of the Evil Dead. It's got Michelle Bauer, Linnea Quigley's in it, interviews. It's got all the directors and writers and independent filmmakers that the Gunnar Hansen worked with throughout the years. Kane Hodder's in it. All various Leatherfaces from, Leatherface Part 2, or sorry, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, the Leatherface of that, and the Leatherface from the remake, or well, not the remake, but 3D, and other Leatherfaces in it and stuff like that. It's just got this great cast of people, and it just, what this documentary really is just like this portrait of this man. As they mentioned so many times in the movie, he's a gentle giant, and it really comes across when you're watching this and hearing all these stories of Gunnar Hansen and what he did, because he was born in, I believe, Scandinavia, I think they said, Iceland or whatnot, and he's basically like a giant Viking of a man. And he moved over to Maine, and then he lived in Maine until he was a certain age, like 6 or something like that. And he moved to Texas, and that's where he grew up. And then when he got into college, he got into acting, and he kind of got the offer to play Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And he took it. He thought it'd be a fun summer job, as he puts it, and boy, look what it did. And so he did that, and it just, the movie Texas Chainsaw Massacre, as we know, was like this groundbreaking horror movie. And he never really wanted to be like an actor. So he kind of, once it was done and stuff, he moved back to Maine, and he wrote poems and he wrote books. He's a writer. He's a very smart man. He's a genius, right? And so that's why I love digging into our horror icons like this, because we can get so wrapped up as horror fans into seeing him just as Leatherface. You see this person just as Leatherface, you expect him to be this intimidating, scary presence, and when you see him and who he is and get to know him and meet him, he's completely different. He's completely opposite. And like they say in the documentary, which I've heard multiple times myself, is that those who play the villains are usually the nicest people you will ever meet, and usually the ones that play the heroes are the biggest assholes. That's what happened. And then he kind of turned down, he said he turned down a lot of movie roles. He turned down The Hills Have Eyes with Wes Craven. He was unaware, who Wes Craven was going to be. He turned it down, but then eventually director Fred Olen Ray, I love his movies, he got him back into making movies with the movie Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. And if you've never seen that movie is a trip check it out. But he got it back in it. He got him in that, and then he's a kind of work for hire. Flew him out, put him up in his house, filmed him and whatnot, and then so like from then on out, and then eventually Gunnar Hansen got into conventions. Because that's like horror conventions are really big for horror icons like that stuff. So like he got into it, started meeting the fans and the impact that he had with Leatherface and everything, and he started really getting into that and started doing independent films and stuff. And it was so great to hear all the independent directors and filmmakers and stuff that he worked with talk about how great he was and how he was down to do everything and stuff like that. Like one of them, like they needed him for a 12-hour shoot. He only signed contract 12 hours. He was going to shoot it, film it, and they needed him to stay longer. And they knew they were going to need him to stay longer, and it was going to be more than 12 hours. And so they approached him to ask him about this, and he was just like, these pants you got my character? They're really comfortable. And they're like, yeah. And he's like, can I keep them? He's like, yeah, you keep them. And so that's how they said that's how the type of person was. He would do things for like Slim the Nun or Free, and just like he started doing all these independent films and the conventions, and it's just like to see who Gunnar Hansen really was is quite fascinating, and to hear the stories from everybody, like even Michael Kaleo, Michael Felsher is in this, Brian from the Smodcast and stuff, and Debbie Rochon and so many other people, and Jeff Burr and all them, and like the Leatherface from Part Two and all them, because like they kind of it's fun to see like the Leatherfaces from all the movies, the conventions together, taking pictures. And Kane Hodder, how he said he would always try to get Gunnar Hansen shit faced when they went out, and how they all had dinner with him. The girls of Evil Dead are in it, and it's just like it's an amazing story of this man's life, and it really touches you when it gets to the point where Gunnar Hansen passed away, and to see like that like it is legitimately genuine reactions of the people on in these interviews when they reach that point about talking about his passing, and that how he kept his sickness and his cancer a secret and everything, and how they felt when he passed, and just like you can see the genuine emotion and tears. It's like it gets you, it touches you. So I highly recommend this documentary. If you've never seen it, please see it. You can get the Blu-ray. I know it's streaming on Tubi for those who stream, but I'm a physical media guy, so I had to get the Blu-ray. But it is available, and it's like, to me, I've known so much about Kane Hodder. I've known so much about Robert Englund. I know so much about Bruce Campbell and stuff because I absolutely love these horror movies and stuff like that I grew up on. And with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I've always was just a fan of like part one, part two, and part three. After that, I kind of, drift out of them, and I didn't really know a whole lot about Gunnar Hansen. And to learn so much more about him in this documentary and who he was, I have so much more found respect for him and what he accomplished with Toby Hooper and the whole cast of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the fact that he was, often just screwed over from the sequels because they never wanted to pay for him to come back because, why would they pay for somebody? He's just irreplaceable. He's just a big man that you put in there, and he really wasn't. He was so much more. And he was Leatherface, but he was also a really, really great, incredible man. And it was great to see that in this documentary. But let me know your guys' thoughts and comments about this review, this movie, and your favorite Gunnar Hansen movie in the comment section down below. And if you liked what you saw here, maybe consider hitting that like button or subscribing, hit that bell for notifications. That'd be awesome. If you guys' subscriptions, possibly share the video out for everybody to see, or join and become a channel member, because that'll help out my channel immensely. Thank you, and shout out to all my channel members. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you guys for being channel members here and for all of your support. And to everybody watching, whether you like me, hated me, or like this video, or hated this video, I thank you for sticking this long. Wherever you all are, please have a great, safe, happy, healthy day, morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Always support physical media because it truly is the superior format now more than ever. Godspeed.